one of 4 ethnic studies centers here at UCLA. We have the Bunch Center for African American Studies that shares part of this building with us, this floor, Asian American Studies Center, and the American Indian Studies Center. And all of these centers were started in 1969 as a result of student organizing alongside community partners to really push the university to better represent diverse cultures and diverse people here in California and the United States more broadly. So in continuing with this legacy, we're hosting a series of events here at our library. This is our librarian. That feature the diverse Latinx, Latino community across the United States. And today is a very special day because I've been so excited that we're featuring the photography of Erick Zerecero, who is a graduate student here at UCLA. The exhibit reflects extraordinary work done by a real life scientist. And you usually don't think about people involved in STEM doing artwork, but we're diverse, multifaceted, multi-talented people. And Erick's exhibit, I think, showcases part of our community that often isn't represented in the university, in the Ivory Tower. And the work is beautiful. And it captures so many people's expressions that are just really moving and striking. And so I am honored that he has agreed to allow us to show his beautiful work. So I'm going to turn it over to his advisor, Paul Barber, just to say a few words, because this event is in part possible because of the work of Paul Barber, the connections he has made with the Chicago Studies Research Center, enabling us to really grow our efforts and our work to include all segments of the university. Woo!
So we hear the word intersectionality a lot more these days, and people have lots of different identities. But as Veronica was saying, particularly in academia, particularly in science, people are viewed very one-dimensionally. You're a scientist, you're an artist. At UCLA, they talk about the campus. It's like, are you from North Campus or South Campus? Because South Campus is where the science is, North Campus is where the art is. And I think what Erick and his work really shows is that's a really myopic view, and that there are lots of people that are doing science that can be on North Campus and cross this artificial divide that we've created. And there are people in North Campus that are taking their expertise and working with folks in South Campus as well, advancing things like health equity in ways that scientists don't necessarily think of. And so, I didn't know that Erick, I always knew that Erick was a good photographer because, I've been hanging out with him for a while, and I see the kinds of photos that we all take, and it's just oh, this is wow, he's really good at this. And I had no idea until recently that he was doing this. And it's awesome that he hasn't felt constrained as a scientist to just focus on science, and that he can be who he is and engage in more than just science. And so I know there's a bunch of young scientists in the crowd, so to all of you, future scientists, growing scientists, you can bring more to your work than just your science, and I think Erick really shows this beautifully. And not only does it show it beautifully, but it shines a light on parts of the community in Los Angeles that most people in Los Angeles have never seen. And I think that makes it even more special because it's bringing to life these overlooked communities that are living right underneath us, like right next to us, and we just haven't stopped to notice them. And Erick and his amazing eye for people, for communities, for culture, captures it beautifully. So thank you, Erick, for sharing your work.
I'm going to invite Erick to come and say a few words.
Wow. I didn't know I was going to talk. Like I was telling earlier, like when they want me to talk, it's kind of hard. I'm always behind the camera. This is me talking, so you could listen to me and see me at the same time. I don't know. Well, yeah, I started doing this because it allowed me to be in the moment. That's why I put that in. Damn, I'm gonna cry. That's crazy. Yeah, just to be in the moment, and just being behind my camera just allows me to forget about everything and I'm just there. I'm just present, and I don't care about anything. Damn.
Want to do some questions?
Yeah, that'd be better.
Questions for Erick.
Yeah, that's easier to answer for me getting emotional. Any questions? No questions. Milo has a question. Yeah.
When did you begin this project?
Well, this is I started when all these photos are from this almost like I started photographing more during the pandemic, so there wasn't a lot to do. I always had a camera with me all the time since I was little. My grandfather was a photographer. He wasn't taking photos like this, but he did portraits of people like on the street. He would stop there, hey, let me take a photo of you, and then he will make these little like frames and sell them to them. Like they used to call it caritas. So he would take pictures of babies too and different, facial expressions, so that when you get old, you remember how your kid looked when he was crying, when he was happy, when he was sleepy, and all that stuff, right? So he always had a camera too. So I grew up like that. My mom also had a video recorder, and then I would always see her like just recording everything. We didn't have phones, we didn't have Instagram, we didn't have any of that back then. So I kind of grew up with that, and I always had a camera, but the issue was that I forget a lot of stuff, and I've misplaced things a lot. So I've taken photos of punk shows of like since I moved to the US. So whether it been lost or I downloaded music from torrents or things like that. I would get virus in my computer, and I will lose all those photos. And it was, it's sad, but it's also kind of cool because they're in my brain. And a lot of them are with my friends who I grew up with. In LA, I remember taking, a bus, because I'm from the South Bay. I grew up in Lawndale. So I would take a bus in the metro all the way to Hollywood, East LA, Compton, just following music. Back then, you have to follow it through flyers, through people, through word of mouth. Like, it was kind of fun. It was like a scavenging hunt, But I lost all that footage. So during the pandemic, I remember my brother told me, he's like, you take good photos, but like, why don't you actually do it serious? And I laughed. I'm like, what for? But he encouraged me to get a camera. And I got a Canon because my grandpa shooting Canon. So I got a Canon because that's what I saw. And ever since then, I remember I went to a lowrider cruise with my family. It was Unity Cruise in Compton. It was black and brown lowriders, all types. We also had people from Samoa, from they call the Islanders. They had their crew. And just being there, just seeing everybody, and I started taking photos, and they weren't great, but I met a lot of great people that encouraged me throughout time. I could see Paulo's here. He's actually one of my mentors in photography. He's a great photographer, great mentor. He encouraged me to do all of this, and he's encouraged me to put my work out there. So thank you, man. I really appreciate that. And yeah, I didn't take classes. I didn't take any courses of this. I learned from the best, just being outside with great people out there. So, you know, I'm just trying to have memories now in these photos, and I don't lose them like I did when I was younger. So I could keep them now forever and share it with everybody because I think they're pretty cool. And there's beautiful people. And yeah, if you have any other questions. That works. That doesn't make me cry.
Other questions?
Yeah.
Since so many of your photos are portraits, how do you prepare your subjects for being photographed?
I don't. I just see them. I talk to them, and I'm like, hey, I take portraits. Can I take a portrait of you? And usually they say yes. And they ask me like, what should I do? I'm like, nothing. Just be yourself. And they post after that, and they look amazing. So I don't prep them. For some that I done maybe just 2 photo shoots once, and I do tell them what to do, but I talk with them before, just kind of like what they're envisioning, and usually it's a lot of like just feeling powerful, which is pretty cool. Yeah. Like I'm a rap like this. Yeah.
Eric, thank you so much for such beautiful work. One thing that's striking is the black and white. Why black and white?
Black and white. Yeah, so my mom, she will make us watch a lot of films when we were little. She's right there. Right there. She's tiny, you can't see her. Yeah, but yeah, she's a teacher in Mexico. So she will always like give us books to read, a lot of films, like French films. You know, it was a lot of her just putting us in contact with culture, and also just my brother too. We used to watch films that we shouldn't watch, but they were really cool because of like the way they use the camera. We used to watch a lot of Quentin Tarantino, Martin Scorsese, you know, French films, Italian films, and a lot of them were in black and white. And I think that really resonated with me since I was a little kid, just seeing those images and seeing everything in black and white. And honestly, I feel like sometimes color distracts a lot from like the person. Just being in black and white, you could, I don't know, I feel like you have the essence of the person, and you don't really get distracted by any of those colors or anything that just could distract you. Also, one cool thing that I put my viewfinder in black and white, so everything that I see when I'm shooting is in black and white, so I could know the shades, the shadows, and everything. And I also don't shoot with flash, just with natural light. So I just love black and white. I think it looks better. Yeah.
Other questions?
Yeah.
Is there any plan to assemble these into like a book?
I don't. Maybe. I mean,
You a publisher?
Yeah. Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah. Still in grad school, so it's kind of hard. But yeah, that'd be something to do. For now, I'm just still capturing what I see, my community, the people around me, the music community, and I think it's important. I think that's more than having a book. It's more just having that so that other people behind can be like, hey, we were really cool. Damn, I'm so emotional today. I think I'm tired. It's that hand there and over here. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just wondering if your work as a scientist informs how you work as a photographer.
Yes, I think it helps me organize a lot, like what I want to do. Shapes also, because when we out, I dive. Like I'm a diver. I'm a scientific diver. So when you go out to the reef, you see all these patterns, and you see all these patterns that happen naturally. And I think your eye wants to see all that geometry, and I think trained my eye without me even knowing that when I'm on the streets, like I try to see those patterns, like like they're like my coral reef, and then I just take snapshots of that. Yeah, so it does help a lot. Mm-hmm. I think it was a hand. Yeah.
Can you please talk about how you curated this particular collection for display?
Yes. So the way I curate it is I was trying to grab from 3 different groups I photograph a lot and that I'm around with a lot. So the Goth community here in LA and other parts. Yeah. I mean, I have some photos that are like the one in the middle right there. Sorry, I don't have like where they're from, but the one in the middle with the top hat, that's in Seattle. And the majority of them are in. Hey, my grandma's here. Hey, grandma. Yeah. So that's where I cover. I also do the Lowrider community. I did some of the Pachuco, the Suit ride, which was a celebration, which was just Remembrance, which was a few weeks back or a month ago. So from that area, and also from the punk scene, because I grew up with punk. I haven't really photographed a lot of it like I used to, but that's how I grew up. Like a lot of punk. I was very angry as a kid, but with reason. But it went. That anger went in a good way. So that's good. Yeah.
Thank you for this. Is there a particular legacy or story about these beautiful people that you wish to leave behind with all the photos you're taking?
Yes, I think a lot of what I try to put is that I think sometimes in movies, in the media, or just even sometimes our own parents tell us like people that look like this, that look like me, are bad people, and that's not true. Like I'm here, I'm at UCLA, I'm doing this, and I think I take it very personal to show that we're people. We're not like the bad kid or anything like that. We're just expressing ourselves differently, and the only difference is that we just don't care about what people say. Yeah. Next, another question? I think I saw a hand, but oh yeah. Hey.
How much time have you invested in taking each shot?
Each?
Well, throughout.
Throughout? Oh, I don't know. I mean, I usually just only do 2 shots, and then I move on. If it doesn't look good, then it wasn't meant to be. Yeah. 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 Any other questions? Yeah.
Do you ever show or gift the photos to your subjects?
I do, yeah. To a good friend of mine, Elvis, he's over there at the bottom. He did an event where it was you combine cumbia and you combine goth at the same time. So it was called Cumbia Goth, and it was really fun. So it happened at La Cita in downtown, and we had a great time. So this photo, I don't think I put it up. Oh yeah, up there. So the mother and daughter, all the way on the top, that's Gothic Cumbia, and she was telling me that she actually invited her mom because her mom likes cumbia and she likes dark wave and post punk. So she told her, "Hey mom, we could both dance," and they went and they had a great time. So I captured that. So I think it's the. And then I gave those photos to him because he organized the event. Yeah, just I have. There's another photo. I don't have it up, but I have a picture of a dad holding his kid on his shoulders and inside the pit, and his wife contacted me, and we gave that photo to him for Father's Day. So, yeah. This is interesting. Thank you all for coming. This feels good. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. I don't know.
Any last questions?
Last questions?
Any advice for people who want to do this?
Yeah, I guess I tell you the same thing I was told once. Like, another mentor I have, Alvarado. He takes great photos of lowriders and also portraits. And one time, it was like the second time I went out to a cruise to take photos. And I remember seeing like other photographers that are more experienced or have better cameras and things like that. And I was speaking to him, and he told me, "Hey, you know what? And I'm sorry, I'm not cuz, but nobody fucking cares that you're here, right? In a good way. So do this because you love it, not because you're trying to impress somebody else or because you want the likes or because, you know, if you like it, do it for yourself, and that's good. Like that's better than trying to be something that you're not. And just keep going, keep shooting. He actually gave me an assignment of like photographing like 10 people, and I keep doing that to this day. So just do it because you love it and don't care about what people say. I think that's the message. Yeah. Any last questions? I think we're good. I don't know. I mean, I'll be around, so you could ask me. Thank you for making me cry.
We have here today, we're lucky to have Professor Joshua Guzmán, a professor in gender studies, to just say a few words about this extraordinary photography.
You know, I'd much rather hear from Erick all day, but it was so nice to follow him. So I write about punk culture and in Los Angeles and queer culture, and I actually write about photography a lot too. And this is my first time seeing it, and just seeing the photos. I mean, they're beautiful, and I'm gonna push against my scientist friends and colleagues too, because I'm unabashedly a humanist, right? But I actually don't think the divide between South Campus and North Campus or science and humanities is that big, right? I think it's made up, because you obviously need both of them together, right? And I think that's what Erick is showing you in this photograph. That is, sometimes when you make a quantitative measure, like I'm gonna take a photo of you, you know, and cut out everything else, you produce a qualitative change, right? Now we have that story. And now we have, you know, your impression in the world captured here. And what I see is the story of Erick told through other people, and that is what art does, right? Like art can give you a sense of a world and have it sort of connect you to other time periods, right? So that photo was taken at that period, at that moment, at that show, you know, but I resonate with that across time, across space. And I think that that's something really cool that both science and art teach us to do. And you just capture it so wonderful in your photographs. I have a lot more things to say about this, but the best thing the main thing I want to say about all this is just that you not only capture a minority, right, like Chicanos or Latinos, but you're also capturing a minority within a minority. And that, I think, is we need more of that. And it's beautiful. So thank you for capturing that more, you know, that intimacy, that love, that friendship, that community. So thank you.
So before we close, I want to give a shout out to Erick Caldera. Where is Erick? Erick was here. With the little one who came too. So Erick is going to be performing outside in what we can sometimes call the cage. It's going to be out there. We have some food out there. We're going to order more pizza because we have a lot more people that showed up than expected, so that's a good thing. I want to thank you all for coming to the Chicano Studies Research Center Library. Know that this space is open for studying, for people to do research, to hang out. We hold events throughout the year, and we welcome you to be part of our community. So thank you, and many thanks to Erick.